On today's episode, we do some more fabricating on the drift Volvo, then we get it back on the ground and realise we've got some even bigger problems. Oh gosh. In-car entertainment for the kids. Decisions, decisions, decisions. I'll be able to sleep at night knowing that's not upside down. Quite actually went really well. I spoke too soon. This is feeling really good now. More like that. That is what we want. How bad is it?
Yeah, we're going to do quite a bit more cutting.
And I'ma do it again. Watch me.
Ben is on the TIG welder. Watch out. Right guys, we are back in the workshop. We had an absolutely awesome time at Silverstone last weekend in the Rotovet, which really has given us the boost and confidence because we're putting the same engine in the Volvo. Every time we've been to Silverstone before, we've always had a little bit of problems, dramas, something not being quite right with the engine. So now with the new turbo, it was singing, so that's good because I've got an identical engine. Otherwise, we'd be very down in the dumps right now. We've been working on the Corvette since we came back. Obviously you would have seen if you watched the video, we had a problem with the wheel bearing or the wheel studs on the wheel bearing. So we've ordered some new ones from America and they've come already, so that's good. We've stripped the whole rear end off because we've been doing some bits of work and we're now going to get them powder coated, so it's going to look awesome. Yeah, so that's the Corvette. Otherwise that, it's all ready. The next time is going to be at the Initiate show, which is at Goodwood on the 5th of May. Go watch that. What else have we been up to? We've been doing loads of work on the Volvo. So we took the rear end out, which is on the floor, because we were finishing fabrication on the back and we were just grinding and getting weld everywhere. But whilst it was on the floor, I have fitted the dual caliper kits with the brakes. So these are from a Volvo S60R. They're actually replica brakes, which makes them a lot more affordable, but that's all on. We've also finally got wheel adapters which fit. So I actually had an absolute nightmare with these because the Volvo doesn't come in the same fitment as the Corvette and I wanted to be able to move the wheels. So I was like, oh, we'll adapt them to 5x114, which is a standard Japanese fitment. So we had me trying to be clever, thinking in advance. I had the axle and the front wheel bearings all kind of changed to work with that stud pattern. And then when I went to put it on the car, we realized the axle was narrow and the front hubs are designed for like 6-inch wheels. So we needed spacers anyway. So then I bought spacers to push them out, which then ended up being wrong because just loads of problems. We bought stuff, basically probably spent about £1,000 messing about with wheel spacers, but now we have some at work. So this is same spec as Kevin has as well. So we know we're at a rough place, and then soon enough we're going to put that back on, probably in a minute, and then we can start working out wheel fitments. So we can get something really spicy ordered in time for Goodwood. Finished off welding up the firewall, so that's all now sealed, so we're not going to have any flames coming into the car, which is nice. Obviously we converted it from right-hand drive to left-hand drive, so there was a hell of a lot of holes on this side, and they're all now sorted. We have put the engine back in because we wanted to work out where we're going to have our gear shifter and stuff. So we've also then got the tunnel's fully in, and we've started mounting for the handbrake. So we've now got a nice mount for the handbrake and the brake bias. It looks really sick. We'll show you that in a minute. Wheel spacers for the front, which are adapters again for the JDM fitment. We've got the brakes on, so we can stop. Probably a bit overkill for drifting, but it was off the shelf and it will be mint. Finalising the pedal position. So I wasn't really quite happy with how it was before. So we've shifted them over like 1 centimetre just to dial it in. And now we are making mounts for the screen for the ECU, a nice Haltech big display. So we're working on that now. And then we're going to mount the ECU. Just started like mounting a lot of things that are now going in the car. All the really long, painful process fabrication pretty much done, apart from cutting out the arches and the tube front end, which we're probably going to do in the next episode. So now we're going to finish off those last bits on the controls, the last little bits, and yeah, Ben is fabricating something. He thought he'd try his luck at TIG welding, learning on the job. but he has reverted back to the MIG, the trusty MIG for this job.
Underneath a dash, trying to hold 15 things and a pedal, and you don't know what you're doing. It doesn't really work.
Sounds like an excuse, Ben.
Sounds like an excuse.
Fine, I'm going to MIG it like a man. I can't see a thing. Oh, it goes now. Look.
Oh my God.
Hold up.
They need a new welder.
Oh gosh. Right, so first up on the jobs to do today, we're going to mount this massive widescreen TV in the Volvo. Because what is a Volvo without in-car entertainment for the kids? So this nice little bracket from Haltech goes like that. And then basically we've cut a slot in the dash for that to go through. And then this is going to go like that. We're going to weld some nuts on. This goes to a bar that we've already made. And then to take the dash off, all we have to do is unbolt two things here, or two bolts, pull the plugs out, and then there's the two bolts on the dash. So if we need to work on anything, it's going to be really nice and easy. So we've already pre-made these, so just got to weld them on. Super awkward under here, but anything to do with underneath dashboard jobs. Yeah, so if we do it like that, this is called closing your eyes and hoping for the best.
Right, keep holding it because it might not tack. I think I'm in the right place. Ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Has it got it well or not really?
No, it's got it. Well, it's not moving. So.
Oh, it did move, I think.
No, she's on. That was the bolt falling. Oh, I'll just chuck that out. It's in my helmet. She's on. So we're just trying to tack everything in place now, and then Rob, who's actually good at this, he can come and make it look really nice. Right, so to make this part like removable, so we want to be able to take the dash out really easy. We've basically, all you're gonna have, the only thing sticking out through the dash is gonna be this. So that will be able to be removed just with like an M8 bolt either side. And what I've done is put these captive weld nuts on the back. So it means you don't have to get in with a spanner or anything. It's literally just get your Allen key in there and off she goes. So finish welding that, and then we can show you what it looks like. I'm pretty proud of that one. Right, next up on the fabrication list is mounting the ECU. So, in this nice box from Haltech, we have got the brains behind the Volvo, the Nexus R5. That is going to bring the Volvo into the 21st century. I reckon there's probably more computer power in there than there was probably in a bank, the computers in a bank when the Volvo was built, so. Right, so my thoughts were to put this nicely over here, but it's actually quite a wide beast, so those mounting holes are actually further out, so that would be the easy way to put it, but my OCD on symmetry doesn't like that, so the other option, we could sit it on the side. You could put it like that.
Oh yeah, you could.
And everything's quite nice and easy to get to. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Right, so after a bit of deliberating, I think we've decided we're going to stick it on this side with the terminals at top, so it's nice and easy to get to, and you won't get, be kicking those. Having it that way, all the stickers with all the lights are upside down, but luckily, clever guys at Haltech supply you with the option to flip it around. So your OCD can remain under control, satisfied, and I'll be able to sleep at night knowing that's not upside down.
Amazing.
Perfect. So it doesn't come with brackets, but I've got these. So in order to mount this nicely on the car, you could just mount it straight on, but to make it nice, I've got little rubber bobbins. That'll take off any vibration and make sure this thing stays absolutely sweet for many years to come. First of all, we're going to make sure we cut the bolts to the right size, and to do that, I have measured the correct size, and then I put the nut on, then you can just cut to the end, and then when you take it back off, it fixes the thread. Hey presto. So now we've got one bolt holding it on, and we have decided that that is level. It's always hard. You could line it up with that, but we've lined it up level and hopefully that looks straight from your house. Now we're just going to mark out the other holes, cut them. This is a really cool little tool that I found that I didn't know existed the other day. Just a really pointy pen. It's really good for fabricating. And it means you don't have to struggle because you can actually get in these long holes. That's the kind of thing that I like to learn about when I watch these videos. Hopefully, now you know. Cool.
That looks serious.
Serious, isn't it? It's got a nice little wobble on there.
It's got a wobble on.
A little wobble. Very good.
That is nice.
I like that. A lot of time for that. Now it's fast. So next on the list of things to do, we're going to finalise the bracket for the handbrake, and that basically goes in the tunnel, you'll see in a minute, but we've also got the brake bias adjuster, which goes to the tilt and pedal box. I'm going to put that in there, so it's all kind of got handbrake and then the bias adjuster underneath. I think it'll look really smart, so let's get to it. Quite actually went really well. I spoke too soon. It did not. The welding was good. The positioning was completely awful. I don't know. We welded it like 180 or something.
What's that?
It's that way it goes.
Right,
Take two. Let's try again.
It's going to work this time.
Second time lucky. Perfect.
Nice.
Yep, stop. Right, so those little jobs are done. Now I'm going to put it all back together. We've put the reservoir on for the clutch and the brake. So that's essentially everything now in place to get all the plumbing done for the brakes. So Hell Performance will be getting a call soon, so they can come and help us with that. Most of the Haltech stuff's in. We're just going to put the button box up, probably do it on the roll cage, but as soon as we've got it all together, I figured we should probably just put the dash in and see what it all looks like. Right, so that is everything back together that we've done today. So this is feeling really good now. The seating position is really nice. The hydro placement is probably the best I've ever had in a car. It's so much better than the Corvette, where you're kind of lying down more and everything's tight for space. The only thing we have to do now in terms of controls is get the throttle pedal mounted. And then the last thing is just the buttons for the dash. Haltech controls. So yeah, super stoked on this. It's going to be really good. So one other thing that arrived that was really cool over the weekend while we were at Silverstone, Daryl from Thermomet dropped off all the new bits for the exhaust that we've had wrapped. So take a look at this. Thermomet have done an absolutely stellar job on this. So this is like a cladding. It's got insulation underneath, and this is actually welded to the exhaust with like some kind of magical micro welds. I'm not really sure how they do it, but yeah, it's essentially, instead of using like normal exhaust wrap, this is more, well, it works better because it gives more insulation, and also means that if you get any oil on it, you can actually clean it, and it looks proper like NASA or F1 style stuff. So yeah, huge thanks to Thermomet and Daryl for doing that. I think to do all this, he said it was like 13 hours. And to me, it looks like it's taken even longer. It would definitely take me longer than that. We've got the downpipe. She's a big boy. I don't know why I did that, but it just seemed right. There's the screamer pipe. Again, just look at that. So then he's left just the tip exposed. It's gonna go out the bonnet. The bit with the flexi section. He's even done the wastegates, so they can literally do everything. So yeah, thank you so much to Thermomet for showing off those things. And by the time I was doing all that and messing about on the inside, Ben has put the car back together and we've got wheels. So I think we should probably drop it off the ramp and see what she looks like. Cool, so it's not gone down all the way, we're still sat on the front, but it looks like a car now. I think if we had the panels, which we're still waiting for, you know, it would look a lot further ahead than we are, but that looks pretty mint. The fitment on the rear is good. It's actually, I think, it's pretty much sat on the arches, and these aren't in position. So once we're happy with the ride height, we're going to put these to the right location. So we'll probably drop these down a bit because we don't want any arch gap because that looks yucky, but it looks good. I think the wheel the kind of offset on the wheels is good. So if that works well, we can then look to get some other ones made to look the same, or same fitment, so we can swap the wheels. Finally, we got the wheel spacers. I'm so happy about that because that took so long to get right. But next up, we can start working out what is going to be the perfect offset for us. So we can order up some spicy boy wheels for Goodwood. What do you think? We don't like that arch gap, so we're going to see what the Volvo looks like when we lower it right down.
The springs were like left the chat.
Yeah, they've like completely gone off that bit. Now we've got it back together, I just think it looks so cool, where you can see like the rear shocks through the bottom of the floor there where we cut it out. The bars just make it look absolutely awesome. And now that we've lowered the suspension, we've got it to the point where it's, I mean, that's probably okay for a competition car with the amount of arch gap, but I reckon with a nice bit of fiddling with this, we could probably, ideally, get it to sit more like that. That is what we want. It's going to be a little bit tougher to run such tight fitment like we have on the other cars because this has got the live axle. So on normal cars with like dual wishbone suspension, as the wheel suspension travel goes up, the wheel actually tucks it in slightly. So well, this won't do that. So we'll have to be a bit careful, but yeah, something like that. But yeah, now we're on to the next problem because we're actually sat on the original arch. So the original arch is there. So if you look now, that's kind of how much wider the Volvo is going to be than compared to a standard one. If you film it from up here, it looks pretty savage. So yeah, I think on the next episode, we're going to have to get the grinders out and the air saw and cut out some big clearance here and also on the front because I don't actually think that's down on the suspension because that's sat there and that's going to be tight. So I reckon by the time we get that off, that's going to be hitting. So we can cut this whole lip up. While we're here, we should probably just check if we've got enough clearance by turning the wheel, because sometimes it's not as bad as it looks. But how are we looking, Louis? How bad is it?
Yeah, we're going to do quite a bit more cutting.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get much backwards entries on that, let alone drift at all. So that's probably worse luck than the Volvo had before we started this project. So yeah, more cutting to do, back to the drawing board on that. Maybe we need to change the wheel spec slightly. But yeah, we're going to start by just cutting all of this and seeing where we end up. I think that's probably a wrap for this video. We've achieved quite a lot in a short space of time. We've got a hell of a lot more to do. The aim is to have everything done for the first week of May in terms of everything we need for plumbing and electric, so that's all in the right place. So when we drop it off to Phil, he can do all the wiring and we can get all the hoses in and ready for firing up sometime in May. So yeah, hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like, follow and subscribe, comment. I think I've done too many things there, but do 3 of those things. Yeah, really appreciate it. Let us know what you think in the comments. Peace out.